So in this video, we are going to explain input function in Python. We have already discussed the output function, that is print function. So there exists an input function. What do you mean by an input function? So if you want to take an input from user, we use input function. So in Python, what is input? Like in Python, the input is used to take an input from the user. That means in Python, input is the function that is used to take input from the user. Okay, and also it is an whatever you type inside the input function is returned as a string. Okay, that means whatever you type is always returned as a string. Okay, so these are the two things you have to careful dealing with input function. Okay, that means we use input function to take an input from the user, and whatever we are typing in the input function will be returned as a string. Okay, some basic example. Okay, how to use input function. So if you want to enter your name, so first the user, that means the program should show enter your name, and you have to enter your name, and you want to print that name. This is the task. So how will you do that? We can use input function to ask the user to enter the name. Okay, so input, the prompt is like that. You have to use input, and you have to use the brackets inside the parentheses. You have to enter your prompt. Okay, so my prompt here is enter your name. So I just enter your name. Okay, this is the prompt, and after this prompt, what will happen? You will enter your name, right? And you have to print that name, right? So when you run this program, what will happen? When we run the code, it will in the console window will ask enter your name, right? And you can enter your name here. So after I'm entering my name as Evo, it will show here like that, right? So I want to print this Evo. So what I have to do? I just want to take this input function into a variable. Okay, so I am taking here a variable called name. Okay, name is equal to input, enter your name. So this function, whatever we enter here, will read into this variable. So if you want to print that name, you have to print that variable, right? Print name, right? Print name. So what will, when we run the code, what will happen? We will print the name. Okay, so here the input function will return the entered value into this variable, and we are printing that value using print function. Okay, so here the prompt will be replaced by the whatever we are entering, and it will store into this variable, and we are printing that. When we run this program, what will happen? Okay, first we'll ask enter your name. So when I'm just entering my name and I'm just clicking enter, what will happen? We can print the name that we are entered here, right? So in this code, what is happening? The input function will take the input from the user, and it will store into this variable, and when we print that variable, it will show the result. So in Python, when we use this input function, whatever we are entering in this input function will read as a string. So if you want to take the input from the user as number, and you want to print that as number, you have to convert that into if you enter any integer, you want to print it like an integer, you have to convert that into string into integer, because when you enter anything in this input function, it will read as a string. So now you want to just enter your age, so it will be an integer, right? So the age you entering this age will be a string here. So if you want to convert that into a number integer, you have to specify that data type here, int input of enter your age. So what will happen? The age that the input function return as a string will be converted into an integer, and it will store into this name, and when you print that name, it will be an integer value. Okay, when you run this code, what will be the output? The output, first it will show enter your age, and when you enter your age, what will happen? It will print it as an integer. So if you don't use this conversion, that means if you're not converting that string into integer, what will happen? This age will read as a string. Okay, when you enter this age, it will read as a string. So this 20 will be a string. It will not be a number. So if you want to convert this string into an integer, what should do? You have to put that conversion here. Okay, so these are the things you have to be careful with input function. If you want to take multiple input from user, you can using a single line of code, you can take multiple input. So what you have to do that? You have to do so I am taking age and name as an input from user in a single name. So I'm taking name, comma, age. Okay, so first entering will be stored into this name, and the second enter will be stored into this age. Okay, so when you enter name, it will be stored into name, and when you enter the age, it will store into this age variable. And you have to use a function in Python to split this variable, is split function. Okay, split. Okay, and if you print name and age, what will happen? If you run the code, it will ask enter your name and age. Okay, so I'm taking name as involved. Name as involved. enter name as evolve and age as 3, it will print evolve 3. That means when you enter the first string, that will be stored into name, and the second number will be stored into this age. And when you print that, it will be shown here. Okay. So in this code, the name will be read as a string and age will be read as a string. So if you want to take this age as integer, what have to do? Age is equal to int of age, right? Int of age. So when you print this age will be, when you enter more and age is 3, this age is number here. Okay, so when you don't convert this into an integer value, it will be a string. Okay, so you have to be careful with conversion. So the things that you have to remember in input function is, input function always return a string. Okay, by default it always return a string, and we can use typecasting if we need it. Okay, and you can customize the prompts inside the input function. Okay, so these are the things you have to careful with dealing with input function. Okay, I hope you understand well. Thank you.